How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a wonderful and beautiful and amazing day today. It is Monday and it is Memorial Day, so I thought today we kind of take a second and look at some work by Hans Liska, and he is a great artist here. He did art during World War II, and I thought we could take a look at some of his stuff here, and that's going to be right up for here. You can see some of this great posing that he has, where you can really feel that there's weight and that there's a nice line of action and really good stretching. Like right here, you can see the way that the shoulders are arcing, that it favors giving weight to the shoulders. Like on this side, over here, you can see this one, the way that the head's posed, it's all favoring so that you can really feel that there's a sense of weight and balance there. Let's go down to this guy here. Nice sense that you get a sense of character in here. You get a sense of that this guy's obviously looking for something, and those folks seem distraught. You get a lot of character in their faces. Over here, you can see like this is a nice pose here. This lady, you see a nice sense of a straight line that adds that weight and that sense of tension that she's obviously pulling something. You can see she's trying to hold on to her baby there. There's a great, sense of character and real liveliness to his face here. And this one, there's a sense of sadness or maybe remorse or distraught in there. A really good way to sense that. Here's some nice, really well drawn pictures here. One of the things that I like to do is really try to find reference and source ideas from anything around there, and really open your mind to get influence and ideas from anywhere that you can. With here you got a nice, really strong facial pose. So you see the eyes are really focused upward. Really nice sense of direction there. Really nice horse poses. He's got a lot of movement here. You can feel that there's a sense of weight and balance and everything, and really strong drawing and everything too. But anyways, I'll throw the link to this down in the comments below if you guys want to check it out. Just since it is Memorial Day, I figured it'd be a fun idea to look at some stuff from people who, sketch what you know, draw what you know, pull your influences from whatever. With Hans Liska, he was in the middle of a war and he still found time to do some art and try to really capture whatever, got his mind focused on that day, and really try and get it out and get it down on paper or in the computer or whatever it is. You can see here there's a nice line of action all the way through that, nice sense of weight. You can really feel the the push and the movement here, and all throughout this it's got a nice support throughout. That all of the different figures here are all supporting that move right there. Really nice hand posing that he's got there too. But anyways, let's take a look at today's animation. This is a chicken rig. I got it over from the folks over at Creative Crash. It's a free rig that you can download. I'll make sure and link it in the information below. Again, with this series that we've been doing as of late, I've never used this rig, never tried it out. It's brand new. Just open the file, and we're gonna see, give us about an hour and see what we can come up with animation-wise with this. Okay, so without further ado, let's give it, create a polygon cube. And today we're using Maya 2014, because this is a newer rig. So usually I use the 2010, because I like, it uses a little less system resources, so I make sure that I get, don't bog down my system too much with recording and animating at the same time. And we're going to just turn off our textures by hitting 5 there, just so we get a lighter rig. Okay, now let's play around and see what we got here. Do we have a hip controller, or is it just the spine? What's this guy? This is a pelvis. Let's see. Yeah. And what do we have? This is going to be spine 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the head. So let's treat this like the neck, and we'll have these be our spine. Rotate X. Usually X is like up and down, but this is side to side. What about Y? Y side to side, so seems about right. And then rotate Z. Actually, let's do it. And I'm just trying to get a good strong first pose if we can get one out of here. It's gonna be tricky getting used to the way that this is rigged up, but that's okay. And this is technically the spine, but I think we'll use it as like a neck controller. That way we can have a little more influence on the head here. And what's this one? Oh, that's a body deformer. Let's see how we can use that. Lower that out. Now let's get into the feet. Spread the feet out a little bit more. Let's rotate them in. Let's kind of make this like a derpy chicken, so maybe it'll have more of like a pigeon toe. I'll walk to it. And I think I want to rotate it back a little more. Still want to make sure that that's up off the ground, so that's going to need to be a little bit more. Kind of want to give it almost like a vulture type neck. I like that idea. And do we have one for the tail? Is there a tail controller? Oh, there is. What's this? This is bend, flare, and what's this? Squash? Oh, okay. What about expand? Oh, you can kind of give it a more shorter, stubbier tail. Let's try the flare. What's that going to do? And just trying to get a good, solid, interesting first pose for today to work with. Kind of like the idea of giving it kind of a stumpy tail, though. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of controllers that we can really do with that, though. I wish there was more of setup there. Yeah, let's see about the jaw. No, let's try and translate. Oh, we can. That's the tongue controller there, alright. And what are these? And what does this do? And give me 1 second, I'm just going to pause the recording here, and I'll be right back. Okay, where were we? Sorry about that. I think we were trying to see what we could get out of this leg here. It's gonna do the, oh, what about this one? Translate X. Nah. Alright, I thought we could kind of do kind of a stretch there, but maybe that'll be here. What about on the toes? Let's see, what do we got on the toe? Oh, that's not what we want. We'll do the toe controller. Oh, we can do like, that's kind of cool. Kind of liking these toes. Let's see, what's the rotate give us? Okay, I kind of like curling at least the outer one. That's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and do that on the other side as well. Don't want to exactly mimic it, but give it some. And let's go ahead and take these guys and we'll translate those back and in. Just trying to get a good starting pose here. What do we got on the beak? we can kind of make it a little more fun. Let's see. Stretch it out. It's kind of cool. Alright. Now what can we do here? Oh, we can wiggle that. That'll be fun to do. I wish there was a separate controller here for flare, so that we could do more of a, almost like a tail kind of a move there, but that's okay. And what about bend? What's that doing? Nothing. Okay. Should I make it a short one or a long one? Let's just do a short one for this one. Got the eye controllers there. What do we got here? Oh, we got a little like mohawk kind of a thing there. I think we'll just do something like that. And raise that up there. Alright. Now, we'll get into the wings later, but I think that'll give us a good starting pose. So let's save off what we have. We'll go to File, Save As. This takes a little bit longer in the 2014 because it's a little bit slower. And always want to save and save often. That's a really good idea to do so that you don't lose any of the work that you're working on. And like I was saying before, you do always want to really get a solid starting pose. Really get out of the T pose or whatever the default pose is that you are given, and give it some character. Play with kind of everything that you've got just to mix it up a little so it doesn't look too flat and solid. And that way you always have something interesting while you're animating. So it gives you a good base to start with something that already has character built into it by giving it a good solid starting pose. Okay, yeah, we're just going to save as there. And let's go ahead and grab everything. And let's just do none, show NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons. And then we're going to go ahead and set a key on 1. And shorten this down to 48 frames. Delete that, just accidentally keyed that. Okay, so we still have our key there. Okay, now let's get into this. We got the, oh, you know what we want to do? We're doing a walk here, so let's go ahead and make sure that we pull that foot back and pull that foot forward a little bit. And that's going to mean that we're going to have to wonder how much we can stretch those. That work. Wish there was a leg stretch. We'll see if we can get one. Is there a stretch deformer? There's a thing called deformers here, but I think that was just, what does body stretch do? No, it's just the actual body. So I'll just have to do smaller steps there. I think we're going to have to remove the body back up again. Okay, so let's go ahead and just look at the first 24 frames that we got here, just to make sure we're getting everything. So set that there, and make sure we set that key there. We don't have a still seeing if there's a leg stretch controller, but it doesn't look like it. Okay. So I'll go ahead and do this first one. Take what we have there. Move it to there. It looks like we still have a... Oh, I got a little kitty visit. Say hi. Whoop whoop. Okay. Back up to your spot. There you go. And we'll move that forward. have to be wary of the stretch and everything on that leg, so we might have to reevaluate how we do those, but we're just laying the foundation for our walk here. Might have to make shorter steps. That's okay, we'll figure it out with this rig. I like this rig though, it's very full of character, I feel like, and there seems to be a lot of options to really kind of get in there and give it a little bit of a different style than originally too. So I think that's pretty fun. I always like rigs that you can get in and kind of make your own, if just a little bit. Makes them feel like they have more appeal that way, so you can really get kind of what you want out of the shot. Okay, so let's see what we got. Okay, that first step's a lot bigger than the next one, so let's go into Graph Editor, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, Translate Z. And we're going to flatten that out and make it straight there. I think we're going to go ahead and just move this egg back. We might do something with it later, but we'll just move it back there for right now. Just so it's out of the way so we can make sure. That. So that first step seems like it's a little big. So go ahead and set that. So we kind of want to keep a similar spacing between the legs there. See, like that's a real big step compared to previously, which means we can either pull this leg back, but we don't want to do too much, so maybe we could pull that leg forward a little bit more. So we're going to grab both of those, set those there. And gotta rekey this guy from 1, move that to 12, so that stays there. And that's a little more uniform of a step between the two. Doesn't look like a big step and a little step, looks like 2. And that step's gonna have to be a little more forward. And we're gonna copy that over to 36. That's fine. See if that's a little better. Again, we're just laying the foundation, so we just want to kind of make sure that the hips feel balanced in the translate, the overall idea is working. And I think that works alright, so we're just going to hit Control S and save our file here for a second. And now let's get those passing positions in there. So we're going to want to raise that foot up and drag it back. Plant it down, but you see we're going to have to be aware that that's going to be an issue, so we got to be careful with that. We might just have to universally translate the hips down a little bit more so we don't get those weird pops and everything. But we'll see. I think that'll be one of our hurdles that we'll have to work through on this walk, is figuring out those legs. Since we've got such a big body and such tiny little legs, we still want to get a silhouette here, but we might have to compromise that because of the way that these legs are set up. So we'll just have to be aware of that going forward. And I'm sure if we just negate the hips down a lot more instead of giving us that space there, that's something that we can just readjust the rotate on there to maybe give us some of that gap so it doesn't look like it's sitting on the floor. Y, rotate it back. But these toes are, these chicken toes, I like the way that they curl and everything. That's pretty cool. I think that'll be fun to animate and really get in there and give some extra life that not a lot of rigs have something like that. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, let's just see how that works. Okay, now let's let's universally translate the hips down. So I'll take the translate Y. I'll go ahead and lower that. I think we might need to rotate it. I wonder if there's a scale for... Maybe we could just shorten it up, scale it up. I wonder if that's going to give us any deformation problems. Maybe we'll just take the X, Y, and Z and just completely scale that back a little bit. And that would give us the area to really get that silhouette in. And then we can drop the hips, but that way we can keep it above the ground, because otherwise that was kind of a... Okay, we gotta go ahead and delete those. Looks like we had another key there, so we'll go ahead and delete that, and let's watch it now. And there's a rotate that we want to get rid of right now. We might throw some of that back in later, but just laying the basics for this guy. Okay, that's working better. Now we want to raise it up and back down, so it'll raise up on the passing position. That's your typical way that you approach a walk, is to have it raise up on the passing position. It's okay to do the opposite though, it just depends on what kind of a style of walk you're doing, but that's the typical natural movement of how things go. Sometimes it's a frame or two before the actual passing position on the feet. And when I say passing position, I mean when one foot passes by the other to become the new lead foot. And so I'm just going in the graph editor and I'm balancing out those translate Ys. I really liked that Hans Liska stuff from today. I thought that was very cool. I hope that you guys give it a chance and check out those drawings. They're really nice. And you're like, well, this is a 3D animation video. Why look at 2D drawings? Because, first of all, I like drawing. That's my favorite thing to do. Of all things in the world. I like to animate too, but getting good solid drawings. And second of all, drawings really help. It depends. Sometimes I think it's simpler to just get a pose in 3D that looks really nice, but if you get a really good solid pose in a drawing, I feel like it has some other characteristic, some other unworldly, almost magical feel to it than even 3D stuff. But just to be able to get a flat piece of paper and get it visually to look. And also you can get a lot of your ideas out quick and give yourself new ideas for posing. But anyways, what I was saying about all that is that looking at trying to find anything, inspiration from anywhere, is a really good way to look at the world if you're a creative person, is to just try and find and get inspired by anything you're doing. Try and always maintain a view and an outlook that's one that's, you know, where can I pull my next creative idea from? I think that's a good way to look at the world, and I try to do that as much as I can, to always have an open mind and an open eye to anything that anyone that I'm interacting with, or anything that I see, to kind of just always be like, well, am I going to get any ideas out of this? How can I use that? How can I utilize this? I think it's a good way to look at life. What we're just doing is we're adjusting the translate on the hips so it favors the foot that's down on the contact position here. And we're going to rotate, and I think it's Y. No, it's going to be actually Z here. So the hips are the normal hips. It's the chest that seems a little off. As far as the X, Y, and Z axis is concerned, the chest, it doesn't follow the traditional pattern that a lot of rigs do. Okay, and we're going to go back into rotate Z. And we're going to scale those up and down, make sure we're still recording here. And I should bring in the new little kitty on video so you guys can see the new little addition that we have to the big family. Maybe at the end of the video. Okay, then we're gonna rotate in Y to favor the front foot so that the hips go with that. So we're going to do that there, and this is the front foot, so the hips are going to lean to favor into that. Excuse me, get the hiccups again. Alright, getting some life in this guy already. I really like it. It's a really fun rig. I like the way that it looks. Still a couple things that so far that I would change with it, but I think as far as all the just aesthetically rigs that I've used so far, I think this is my favorite so far. It's got a really cartoony feel, and it seems like it has pretty good deformers where it doesn't look too broken if you get some good posing out of it, and I like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna even that out, make sure that I got some. Okay, and I'm just gonna save off here. And if you're wondering, this toolbar here is the Animation Mentor toolbar. That's what you get. One of the perks of going to that school, you get some really cool add-ons and stuff for your Maya that you can use. Maybe I'll go into a couple of those sometime, but it's not, something that's free, and I try to keep most of. Did I grab the right controllers here? I think I did. Okay. Try to keep most of these videos based on programs and rigs and things that anyone could grab and download and try the stuff out for yourself, because I think that the audience and everything who'd be watching these videos would appreciate, you guys out there would appreciate, kind of looking at the free options that are available to you. And then we're going to want to put the head on 6. Because I like going out there and, you may not know exactly if it's something that you're really into, you might want to pay some money towards it. Otherwise, free options are a good way to try out stuff. And then definitely, if these people have these content creators that offer their stuff out for free, I'm a big proponent of trying to support people that are doing things that you like for free by donating to them, so that they can keep doing that stuff and keep putting it out there. There's a good, if you guys haven't heard of Patreon and everything, definitely check that out. It's a really cool way that musicians and artists and different content creators can get kind of crowdfunded and everything and supported for putting out the work that they do. I'm not on there yet, but you can definitely, if you do like what I do, I have stuff on my website that I'll link below that you can definitely check out too. But I think that's a cool way to approach kind of this new digital world of content creation. It seems very reminiscent of like the old art masters and how the arts used to work in that way. Okay, let's take a look at what we got so far. We did some rotate and up and down. I think we could definitely play up the up and down on those hips. They seem like there is some there, but it's not enough, so let's go and do that. And again, that's one of those things that I mention quite often, is that you do want to take a step on your work, then pause and watch it a little bit and go back in and adjust some stuff. I think that looking at your animation with a critical eye is one of the most important things and tools that you can use in your animation, so that you can be able to not be too attached to what's going on in your work, but be able to delete stuff if it's just not supporting the idea, or add stuff in, but nothing's too sacred that you can't change it if it helps support the main idea. Just doing a little bit on the head here. always think that head and neck animation is one of those areas, at least for myself, and maybe you guys are different, that I tend to not really have a good formula for. I tend to find that it's kind of one of those things that I really have to play with each and every rig and each and every walk. There isn't really a good, with the hips and the chest, I feel like I have a pretty good foundation in almost any idea of where to go and what to do with those, but I think the head and the neck, you kind of have to spend a little more time really making sure that movement feels the right way. It's one of those extremities that, like the hands and the feet, that need a little extra care, and they're not as formulaic or as predictable a move. And that you can also play with to make sure that you're, even though the hips and the chest can add a lot of character, I feel like the head and the neck, along with like hands and feet and everything, is where you can really sell the ideas of the character behind, or the thought processes behind, or the weight, or whatever it is. It's one of those good ways to sell that in your animation, is by getting good, strong, facial poses, or head movements, or finger poses, or the way the feet work, or anything. That's always those things that can really add the character and the illusion of life, and sell that there's thought behind them. Alright, those kind of things. That being said, the head and the neck tend to be things that I spend a little more time playing with, rather than this is how it should work, or this is how it should work in this scene. It's kind of like well, let's look at it, let's watch it, let's break it down, let's try a different thing. I feel like that might be a little too much, and let's try doing the opposite. What would that look like? I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, remember to throw me some thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. I'll have new videos out every day. Right now we're trying out, going through pretty much the gamut of free rigs that are available out there, and see what we can challenge ourselves to create new animation every day, and see what we can come up with. And I think it's fun to get thrown in with something that you've never used before, and give yourself a time limit and see what you can create and what comes naturally through using those different rigs and characters and everything. I like tapping a little bit. Let's go ahead and offset those a couple of frames. So just grab both of those controllers and we'll delay them a frame. We'll grab the head and we'll delay that one more frame. And let's do a little bit of raise up and squash down and drag up and drag down, drag up and drag down, drag up and drag down. This will give us a little bit of like compression in the chest area, and we'll offset it by what we do in the chest. So we're just going to go back into our rotate X on there. And it's crazy how much time, that's one of those things that I gotta make sure to speak up louder. I noticed that I'm a little bit further away from the mic in some of my videos. Anyways, it's crazy to think of how much time goes into really good polished animation, but one thing you have to be careful with that as well is that you don't noodle stuff to death, or you don't spend too much time, because I could, on 2 seconds of animation, I could spend 4, 5, 6 hours if, really just polishing everything, and every nook and cranny of it is working exactly this way or that way. So you have to be aware with your time that you don't noodle stuff way too much. Kind of give yourself a good time limit, but also be aware that if you have an idea and you think it's really strong and you want to make it as strong as possible, be okay with spending that extra time to get what, you know, the idea that you want working. Okay. I think that's rotate Z, so I can grab all those. We can kind of even those out a little bit. And the reason that I went back in and did this was so that I can make sure that even with the compress and the kind of the squash and stretch in the chest throughout the movement, that the head moves are going to work once that's plugged in. I usually try to do that first before I get into the head moves. But that's okay to go back and do it. And there's not enough in this neck controller, so I want to go ahead and punch that up a little bit more. Let's see. It's probably going to be a little, nope. Let's try really keeping it, see if we can. Try punching it up, punch up that neck controller and see if we can get. I think that might be a little too much, but I think that's more the idea that I want. That way we can get some more drag in that head. So let's try this. I'm getting a little bit too much a squish there, so we're going to want to ease that up a little bit. Let's try this. Okay, it's going to be too much, so let's try this. You know what I was talking about, like, that's okay, but by here it's too compressed in there, so we gotta be aware of that. So we want to be able to do more of that, but have more of that. Okay. We gotta make sure we're on the right frame though. So let's go ahead and adjust that stuff. And we'll go ahead and adjust the neck moves so that those mimic what we're looking for. Sorry, I'm working the graph editor. Gotta make sure I do that up on screen here. Let's go ahead and watch that now. We're losing a little bit of that vulturine-ness that we had on the head to begin with, so let's see if we can find a good happy medium there. Movement works okay, it's more of the posing kind of thing. Do a little bit more of that, and a little bit more of that. See if we can kind of find a happy medium there. And then we can kind of, let's see. Have that swing down there, swing up there. So we get a little drag in there. Let's see if we can build that in. It's just going to be translate Y there. Let's keep it on 6s though, just so we make sure it's uniform. And we can offset if we need to. And this might be too much, but we can always scale it down. It's a good methodology to go with, is to over animate and then scale it back rather than under animate. Okay, but that's the opposite of how we want that move to go. It's just that timing and everything is going to be a little bit different. So I'll pull up the translates. Then we want to, after we do this, we're going to go ahead and save again. I really like to try to keep a method of at least every, heck, almost at least 5 minutes or so, just saving off what you do. Because especially with animation, you can get something to feel right, and it's not mathematical where you just plug in, you know, it was a value of 5 on frame 7. No, it's really more of a feel kind of a thing. So it's good to save often so that you don't. Still might be a little too much on that. So let's go ahead and delay it one more frame and squash it down a little bit. So you just kind of want to feel it. See now, you just kind of feel that on that tip of that beak, it's just got a little bit of flap to it. And I think there was a different controller for that. Oh, where was that? Is this it? What's this one? Fat face? Ooh, let's see what a fat face does. Oh, we can add like a little bit of cheeks to it. And you know what? I think I don't like the fat face on. Maybe we can do a little bit of that. We'll see. Okay, so let's see if we can get a little bit of jaw overlap as well. So that'll be up there, down there. And again, it's good to just kind of punch in a little bit and then go back in and tweak it. Well, that depends. If you're doing more of the pose-to-pose method, you really want to get those real solid poses and then go. But I tend to go with more of a layered or straight ahead kind of a method. Okay, that's the idea we want, but we want it to feel a little bit less. So we're going to skew the values down a little bit. And then we want to play with the timing of it. A little bit. So let's go ahead and delay it like 2 frames. Let's see. And let's try doing the inverse of that. Let's see how that looks. That looks more like he's talking rather than it's bouncing, so no, we want to keep with our original idea a little bit more. I think we'll try to find a medium in values there. Maybe delay it 1 more frame? I feel like the timing's not exactly. If we did even 1 more. And let's have the out positions a little bit less as well. Okay, let's watch that now. Feels like there's just a little drag in that beak now. Maybe we could even do a little less. Let's see. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Now let's try to do a little bit of wobble in the little giblets there. A little gobble or whatever got in here. So we'll have it, gotta translate. Translate X. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for. This is going to be way over the top, so we're going to have to scale this down a lot, but let's just build in the basic movement we want. And let's go to translate X. And we'll scale that all down a lot. We just want a little bit here. And maybe a little up and down as well as a side to side too. Again, Again, this doesn't need to be something that we really see or is visually focused on. We just want it to have the feel that it is, you know, moving along with the head and the body and everything. So let's see. See, just a little bit of side to side. But I think to mix that up, we're going to want to do a little bit of rotate Y to it. So there's a little bit of like drag and overlap just on the like tail end, so like it ripples through a little bit. Let's see. Rotate Y. Let's try reversing it, make sure we got the right way there. And let's delay that by about 2 frames. And let's scale up the translate X a little bit more now that we added that, so that that is more of the prominent, is the translation rather than the rotation. We just want the rotation to add a little bit to it. And let's watch it from the front position. There you go, see? It's like... What's the translate Z here? Yeah, that's that way. No, we don't want to do that. I was wondering if there was a translate X on the beak, but it doesn't appear that there is. Okay, we'll go ahead and save off what we have again. And let's go ahead and put the textures on, and let's watch it with the textures on. Alright, the head works alright for me. I think we could have the eyes forward more. It's kind of weird that they pull back there. Okay, let's just keep them where they are. One thing we could do, if they have an eyelid. Oh yeah, we could do a little bit of raise and lower on the top there too. That could be fun. Do a little bit of drag up, and squash down, drag up, and squash down. And we're gonna have to retime this because this isn't gonna be the frame that we really want that on, but let's just build it in there. Do the opposite of that. And then we gotta figure out what frame we want to have it hit on, just so there's like a little bit overlap on the top of the head too. And we need to get it in the wings and do a bunch more stuff, so I think that once we get this working, we'll call that fairly good movement on the head. I would like to be able to do the eyes a little bit more, but I want to think about time as well, so. About 2-3 frames. Maybe pull down those a little bit more. Let's see. A little less on the top and then a little more in the squash. Let's see. And let's watch that again. Now I want to do those cheeks that we got. I want to get back in there, see if we can do a little bit of looseness in there. Okay, I know. I said that was all I wanted to do on the head, but I think I want to do a little bit of that as well. Just to add that little bit of cheek fat to it. And this is going to be way too extreme. But we'll tone it down. It's just another way we can add character or life to this character here. It's just going to be a little bit. We'll delay it 1 frame. Let's see if we can get here. Maybe a little bit more. That seems a little too toned down. I feel there's a little like puffiness in there, like a little looseness in the jaw now. I think that works a little better. Okay. And no, I don't think we want to do that. Okay, now let's go ahead and get some better wing poses if we can. Do something like that where we get a little more curve to it. I want to try and treat them like sort of like a unit, but I think I want to do like the first two would be like the arm and the forearm, and the last 3 would be like the hand. But I still want to keep a kind of a nice line throughout, so I gotta be aware of that. See if we can get a similar, not exactly the same, but a similar feeling pose. Oh, yeah. Come on. I'll grab these 3. Make sure we got both of these, the root kind of the wing selected, and we'll have them rotate up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's watch that. Again, for it depends on what you're looking for the walk. We're not looking for like a realistic, like let's pretend this is a real chicken. We want to do more of a charactery chicken, kind of a derp chicken, or silly chicken, special chicken, however you want to put it. And it depends on the approach that you want to take to the. And now let's grab the second controller here. Even it out here a little bit. And again, there's different approaches to how to do like wings and tails and everything. You can consider them all as one unit and move them all together. You can kind of change that up and turn it into like how you would do successive with like an arm, a forearm, and a hand, or you treat them like you can a leg. It just depends on what approach you want and what kind of animation you want out of it. And now I think for the next part, and we'll continue to tweak this and build on it and expound on our ideas on this. These controllers are a little bit difficult to grasp each and every one, but that's okay. Just gotta make sure we're not grabbing the wrong thing here. Okay. And you always want to make sure that you're grabbing the right controllers and you're not keying stuff that you don't need to key. Okay. So go to 6. Down, back, down, back, down, back, and down, and back. Okay. Alright, that is not the way that I want that to go. I want to do the opposite, I'm pretty sure. Just evening out the curves here. But I think these are fun challenges, and I definitely, with your work, you should always be looking for ways that you can have fun and also challenge your work as well. I want to grab everything, we'll go ahead and delay it a frame. One more frame on that. I think I'll leave it at what we had. And then I think we'll go ahead and delay, grab this guy, and we'll treat these more like fingers. So we'll have one lead and the other one follow. So let's go ahead and watch that, see if that's. You know what might be fun though? I'm not too attached to this idea that we couldn't do this to begin with, is to see if we can get these wings more this way. Let's try watching that now. so that we could get them almost a little bit spread out there. Let's try that instead. Careful, there was a extra key there that we didn't need. And I think we'll add some extra bounce into these tips to kind of make them almost a little flappy towards the end here. Oops. Okay, so what we want to do is delete this key there. Move that key back to frame 1. Okay, let's see. We'll just have to do them individually. Looks like they got their things. And I like what it is now, so let's go ahead and save that before I get into it, but I think I want them to kind of flutter. And you know what? I think we're going to turn it back onto what we had before so that we're not getting distracted by all the textures there. Okay, one thing I would say is that they need to make these manipulators a little bit bigger so they're easier to grasp there. I like the idea of what we have here, but I think we're going to need to tweak it a bit and figure out which frames we want it to hit on. I think I want to rotate it out. See if we can figure out a good way to get those to look flappy. Okay, let's watch just the tip. tone it down a little, but I think that idea will work okay. Let's see. And I'll just copy those back. Let's try now. I feel like that works. Maybe we could add a little more. Let's see, rotate Z in there. Down on. See if we can just add a little bit more on there. So. Let's watch it now. Just so there's a little more in that right before the tips as well. Yeah, I like that. That's fun little kind of wavy flappiness in there. Okay, let's go and try and grab that. I'm pretty sure I did these on 6 for these, right? 6, yep. Okay, so raise it up, drag it down, raise it up, drag it down, raise it up, drag it down, raise it up, and drag it back down. Okay, let's watch it on this side. So we're just gonna balance that out and make sure we can get that more of a nice movement like we had on the other side. Just a little bit better. I'm not gonna fret too much about this side. Normally I would, but for the sake of time, I really want to get the side that's gonna be facing camera working, and the other side will just have the feel of it working. Because I still want to get into the feet and maybe a little bit into the tail and not have this video be too long. What do I want to do? Probably rotate X. Is that it? Let's see. keep that, and let's just go into this guy here. We'll make sure he is favoring stuff. What do we do on this side? How do we approach that? It's just the rotate Z. Okay, let's just keep on the rotate Z. Let's watch it now. Okay, yeah, that's feeling good. Okay, again, we'll go ahead and save our work again. And let's go ahead and get into the feet here. And let's grab both of them. 1, 2. And translate Y, translate Y. We just want to kind of even out that there's like kind of a middle ground for how these feet are hitting. We don't want the feet to feel too different, but we don't want them to be exactly the same either, so it's okay to have a little variation in there. Okay, let's see. When we do this, let's go ahead and drag that toe. Let's make sure we just grab the one controller. Maybe we can just do it with the rotate. No? Okay, just have to go. So we want to kind of drag that down. Take what we have there, put it at 30, and put it back at 36. Okay, let's see. Cool. So we can just duplicate some of that stuff. Down. Take that back to 12. Actually, how about I hit 14 at 12? I want it just to raise up. So it kind of pegs down. Alright, yeah, that feels cool. Let's see if we have a 24, take 6 and we'll put it to 30. Take what we have at 24, we'll put it at 38, and what we have at 12, we'll put it at 36. And we can go in and vary that stuff a little bit in the graph editor, but this will let me. Okay, now let's do the inner toe, and let's have that actually. So it'll go. And we'll take what we have at 1 and put it at 13. And at 12 we'll have it raise up. So we can like slap down. Let's see. They almost feel tentacly, those toes, which is kind of cool. I like that idea. Okay, we'll take 1 and put it at 24, 6 and put it at 30, 12 at 36, and 13 at 37. And by varying the timing on that, it adds for a nice like contact as well, where you have the back toe planting, then the front toe, and then finally the side. Okay, so again we'll go ahead and save what we have again, and we'll go to the other side here. And we'll take what we have at 12, put it at 24, 36, 18 at 42, and 36 at 40. So now we should get some. And then we grab what we have there, key it at 12. And duplicate that to 26. What's it doing there? Nope. I'll make sure I grab the right controller there. Take what we have at 12, move it to 26. And at 18, it's going to raise up. Actually, yeah, drag down. Raise up. And then hammer down. We have 36. And back at 48. And drag it down. And just lift it off a little. And we'll take the toe, and we have the toe there at 12. And again at 25. So we'll drag it in. Raise it up, out, so it kind of slaps down. And then we'll key that again at 36. Have it drag in a little bit. Hey, chill out. Straighten it out and raise it up. So let's go ahead and watch those feet and see if they feel good. Let's check out this other foot because I feel like I like the way the front toe contacts a little bit more than the other side. Still feels alright. Let's see if we can get something in the tail to work. I don't think there's really a controller that we get for it, but let's see. Could maybe do a little bit of translate X as side to side, right? Kind of goes hops and goes over. That's weird. As long as we can get a little movement in it, that'll be alright. Okay, that's way over the top. I don't know that I want it that much. So I'll go ahead and take our translate X here. We'll zero it out. And we'll just do like a 0.4, kind of a wave on the tail. So that's something, so it's alive. There we go. What about translate Y? Can that work at all? Okay, we feel like this is going to be way too much, so we're really going to have to tone that down, but we'll see. We just want a tiny bit of bounce on there. Just a tiny bit, and we'll delay it probably 2 frames. So that it offsets from the hips. Let's see. That way there's a little bounce. There we go. And let's give us 2 frames then, so that's a little bit later. Alright, it's a fun little character walk there with that kind of guy. Got some squishiness in the toes. I really like the toes. The head's kind of bobbing along with a little bit of delay on the beak. Got a little bit on the gobble. A little bit of squash and stretch on the top of the head. Got some sway in the hips. Maybe if we could do a little more up and down on the hips, that might be nice. Just a titch. Let's see. And let's turn our textures back on. Go ahead and just get rid of that egg. We don't need that. And we'll turn our nerve curves off. We'll hide that little grid there, and let's go ahead and watch this guy. Yeah, that's a funny little chicken walk. I like that. One thing we maybe could do, let's see if we can get that, was that deformer again? Maybe it was the stretch on the body. Is that it? Might add a little bit of squash and stretch there. Probably have to tone that down a lot, but let's see how that looks. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of that. I think it was the scale that we ended up using on the hips. So we might be able to go back into there and add a little bit of up and down through there, so that it's not actually translating, but it's still feeling that way. Okay, let's watch that. Yeah, we can just do that. No, let's see if that'll do. We can delay that a frame. Even I think we could raise that up from where we have it to begin with, so that it gives us kind of that, there we go, so we can get a good silhouette. Okay, let's watch that, see if that adds that little extra sense of bounce to that undercarriage there that you can. Okay, let's go watch that again. And let's delay it 2 frames. Let's see. If we even did one more frame delay there. Maybe just do a little less. Let's watch it from the back. Maybe we could do even a little. Let's just keep it on frame. We can do a little bit of side to side there. So let's swing over and swing it back. Treat it a belly. Swing over, swing back, and back to you, 0 gain. Let's do that instead of. We can delete that a couple frames. Let's watch it from behind, and that should have that. So you can see there's kind of a little bit of a weight shift back there. And let's amp that up a little bit more. Let's see. How you feel that belly going? Kind of a little jiggly belly. Yeah, I like this little rig. So I hope you guys like this video. Again, I hope you're getting inspired every day. I hope you're finding influences everywhere that you can grab. That you're looking with a critical eye at everything that you do all day, seeing what you can find inspiration from. Just remember to keep challenging yourself and keep trying every day in whatever aspect of life that you're doing. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you do, remember to throw me some thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. There'll be new videos all the time. If you have ideas or suggestions for the channel, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If there's things that you like that I'm doing, definitely let me know and I'll do more of it. If things you think I should get rid of, can do that too. But overall, I hope that you just have a great weekend and that you're enjoying life and challenging yourself and getting inspired. And with that being said, I will see you tomorrow.